My life with Steinway and Sons started in 1986 as a piano maker apprentice in the factory in Hamburg. I'm born in Hamburg. When I was 18, I was toying very much with the idea of doing architecture and industrial design, but wanted to learn a handcraft before I go to university. I ended up being invited to have a tour of the Steinway factory in Hamburg. When I set foot in the factory and saw the materials and the end product, I was absolutely overwhelmed. Every day is different. We are sitting close to 9 concert grands that are lined up in my workshop. They all have different characters. Some pianists like a piano that is very direct sounding, which responds very fast. Others like a more lyrical, warmer sounding piano with not such a fast projecting sound. And there's 100 million layers in between, and that's really what you need to know, respect, and work towards with the wonderful piano that we built. These pianos are designed and made for performance. They want to be on stage. Pianos like that only prove their mettle if they go on stage. They want to be heard. And it's a bit like an athlete who trains for one race, and the whole build-up of the training program is for that one day to be ready at that day to do the best possible performance. You know, if you take a piano on stage, it's quite an emotional thing because it's very exposed, and it's your work that is exposed and our instruments. And very often everything works against you because people don't really realize what you do as a piano tuner. They think a piano arrives, somebody comes along, quick tune, and then the piano's ready to go. But it's such an intricate machine. There's so much preparation going into it, and very often when you go on stage, there's very, very little time for you to work peacefully because so many other people need the stage. There's many different things you do to a piano to get it ready to perform. The one that's always talked about is tuning. And tuning is basically on a concert grand like the Model Ds that are out here. You have 243 strings that are all put on tension on a tuning pin that sits in a pin block. There is a tension on all the strings of overall just under 20 tons. And that work is done with a tuning fork, with a tuning hammer or tuning lever, and with some wedges where you can wedge off strings within the unison in order to tune one string and then the other 2 strings of the unison so that the note sounds as one. Voicing is when a piano is in tune, it does not necessarily mean it sounds nice. The tone quality is very much done by how you prepare the hammer in the piano and how you balance the sound with the widest dynamic range possible from the bass to the treble section of the piano. It's a very instinctive job. You need a lot of experience. You need to have a feel for sound and character. It's a very, very, very complex machine, and tuning is just one little side of it. The biggest problems are mostly logistics. Logistics of getting to where you need to get to and have the piano on stage, that's the first big tick. And if that's done, stress, then you're down to do your job. Pianos respond to environment changes, temperature, humidity. So environment in the venue is very important. Then unforeseen problems are always if you arrive and all of a sudden there's a problem with the lighting and the lighting crew has to go up the rigging and you try to work on the piano. Or the piano gets delayed in transport and arrives freezing cold off a truck. So there's lots of things that can go wrong. If I commit to an event, I would always do my homework. If it's a resident piano and I haven't seen the piano for a while, I would go there before the event to make sure in what condition the piano is, and if I need extra time, I would do the work before the concert. Unusual problems usually always happen when pianos travel quite far afield to go to a recording session, for example. And there's one that is quite funny, really. A piano went from London to Berlin for a recording session. The whole team arrived, pianist, and the piano was there, but they'd left the legs and the pedals in the warehouse in the center of Germany, so some poor bloke had to drive I should think 200 miles to collect the legs and the pedals for us to then get the piano on its feet to start recording. It's a fascinating world of pianos and a lot of involvement in pianos that for the audience they come, see a black piano, listen to it, like it, don't like it, like the performance, don't like the performance, and then they walk away from it. Whereas the piano has done probably a very good job and has a lot of thought into it to make it do the concert as well as possible.